welcome. Oh. Ha ha ha. Welcome to a new live stream. I think I have everything working. There's a lot to show. Check this out. This is what's happening outside right now. And you'll see my dog. You won't see the audio. We love the snow. So it's March. Welcome. I'm John Skippy Limcool. This is a live stream from pluginguru.com. Welcome. We have all sorts of crazy stuff to show you guys today. To start with, we are soon approaching the release of our first library, our first official library from our own site. It's actually the second library for Unify. Let me see you guys in the chat. Welcome. I'm going to say welcome to all. So this is pretty insane. And I'm going to give you a link in a minute to download this for free. Oh, I need to start. That's what's going on. I don't have Logic playing. There, that's better. Now it's tight. Need to have your sequencer running for these to be totally tight. We're actually working on fine-tuning some of this under the hood. So you'll be able to play with this. This is one of over 220 patches. And the cool thing about this library is you need to own Serum. Most of you own Serum. If you don't, it's one of the better synthesizers you can buy. The new Genesis synth just came out. I can show you video of Shane running it in Unify on the PC. Unfortunately, from what I'm reading and hearing, people aren't that impressed. It's super CPU heavy. The one from Genesis, the Osmet, we'll talk about that in a bit. But there's these patches all come with this library for Serum, as well as these patches are incorporated into far more than just what Serum can do, because in this case, in this one patch that I'm going to give you a link to, I'm actually going to give you 2 patches to play with, okay? This is using 8 instruments, and 7 of them are Serum patches. So you're hearing and you'll be able to do all the stuff I'm doing right here. Right? Do all these crazy things. Bring up the claps and you get this cool refilled mix thing. So let me give you the link because I know you guys can't wait. Check this out. So you go to, where was it? Recent, Plugin Guru. It's in this folder right here. Copy the link. There's actually one other patch included. It's a BPM ARP patch, BPM ARP patch I made. Right here, it's a expanded version of this where one note, then you have a kick, So those two patches are available in the link I am right now going to put into chat. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Doubting. Not everybody has Serum. You have to have Serum to run these two presets. I'll not buy Serum, although that price is good. Well, if you don't own Serum, don't download this. That won't work. But this library is for Serum and Unify together. I am working on another library that will be out within probably the next 30 days that I can show you some of, which doesn't require any additional synthesizers. It will include new samples, and we're actually going to make samples and some cool stuff today for that. I need to hold on a second here. I'm way off on all sorts of stuff on my YouTube thing. March 14th, 2020. I need to say this is we're looking at Airwave. And a recycle tutorial. Actually, recycle percussion tutorial. So I'm sorry if you guys don't own it. I know times are tight and it's kind of a weird thing on the planet. But if you own Serum and you own Unify, then you can play with this library. It requires those two components to work. We're not doing this for every library, but we want to show, especially for the first one that we release, that the concept behind Unify is to be able to do more with certain synthesizers. I can say that. Do more with the synthesizer than just by itself. And here's a good example where if you go to Serum and you go to the patches that come with it. Oh, thank you, Joe. Good to hear from you. So if we go to something like, say, a BPM like Papa Claus. Right, so you can do all this, but with Unify, you can take that and you can go BPM, bass, Papa Claus. Was that one? Papa Claus 1. So if you go Papa Claus 1, and then you can build on this in all sorts of cool ways, and that's where you end up with a lot of these things down here, which are these splits, where we've set up all sorts of different things to, let's see, like, boom. This is where it's taking those patches and combining them. All Serum for 9 different layers. And it sounds so good. Make sure you can see this. Let me go to my OBS window. There's a lot of windows open. My goodness. Lots going on. So I want to shrink this. Oh, I'm going to have to go to this view. I wish it could show like that. And like that. There we go. There. So this bass inside of Unify, it's like this. Or inside of Serum, when you get the library, and I don't think it's even that. I think you have to go to raw in. That's what it sounds like in Serum. But once you add an arpeggiator to it, go to the bass line, then added more processing, and the pump house. This gives it that vibe that makes it fit into the mix. So the idea being, it's so much more you can do when you have everything inside a Unify than just the patches by themselves. So that link will get you a download which has 2 patches. The first patch being Hernan's favorite, which actually is loading up 7 Serum and 1 Guru sampler. It's using 7 arpeggiators, 1 auxiliary bus, I'm doing some fun stuff on the bass. Let's see here. Check this out. Oh. There's no way to make it a priority to stay open. Let's do it this way. Let's hide it like this, and I can... So I have 1 knob changing 3 parameters in noise box, plus more than that. What else is it doing? Oh, the auxiliary synth. Yeah, so. The other thing that's cool about this is this pad. It's a great pad. It has both Serum FX and then Pump House. And then this brings up the intensity. And it's so nicely tight, in sync. So it's like you have a complete remix. In a single patch, you can do a complete track just here. Get another synth you're playing live over the top. So this library will be coming out later this week. It's really exciting what's going on with that stuff. So I want to make sure you're aware. Hello, Jim. Yeah, this is, so the way that this is given to you, you will put in that link that's in the chat, right? Let me go over here and say new. And if I paste that link, it will take you to a page right here, right? And all you have to do is say, click here and know you want to go to, where's the more options right here, download, and just say direct download. So it will download to your download folder. So we say, show this in the Finder. And here it is. Oh, I hate doing this. Okay, stop. So I'm going to put this first into here. So I have, this is the final library that we're building. And then all you have to do, I need to do something really quick. If I go over here, I need to go reveal in Finder. I need to pull this library out to show you how this is going to work. So go libraries. I'm going to put just a G at the end of the name. So this is the library. So it doesn't matter what my libraries folder is showing, but here's the libraries folder, right? So I can say cancel. All you have to do with this .guru file is drag, well here, let's do this. Let's refresh. So refresh the database. And just drag this over here and it'll say, do you want to install Unified Melodic Techno? Say, okay. Yay, it's installed it. Do one more refresh. Go to Melodic Techno, and for me, I only show 1 patch, but there's supposed to be 2 patches. So please let me know if you have 2 patches or 1, because for me, I only have 1. But it's the cool patch, so it's okay if it's just this 1 patch, because Hernan's is the one that's just the... Told you, Shane, I only have 1 patch. And then it's in here. But now I'm going to delete that because I want to put the full library in so I can show you other good things going on. And then I come over here and I say rebuild the patch database. Now we have a maintenance update that we will be including before we release this library that does a whole lot of nice fixes to Unify. We fix a whole bunch of bugs. All of you reporting bugs, we haven't fixed all of them because there's a lot. There's not a lot, but we've fixed the main ones that are on the top of our list to fix. So rebuilding the database, changing effects, stuff like that doesn't crash. We've got eLicenser and iLock support, all sorts of nice things. So that will be coming out. The update with the MIDI effects we're going to do when I release the library I'm working on, which is what the second half of this live stream is going to be talking about. We'll be talking about doing, I want to add percussion stuff to this whole thing. So let's see, close that. Let's see here. I have Avenger, which is... All right, let's just talk for a second. Because someone is saying, I have Avenger, which is, in my opinion, as good as Serum. It's one of these things where it's not about being as good as. It's not about that at all. If you're talking on a level of synthesis, there simply is nothing out there that can compare with Serum. The sound fidelity, I mean, Avenger actually can do more because it can do multiple channels and stuff like that. It can do like the whole groove, like what Unify is doing type of stuff. The whole thing with Serum is that it can create these sounds that have a fidelity to them that you can't. The synthesis, if you look at this as a waveform and you record it and you analyze to see up here, when you get into the higher registers, it is the cleanest synthesis I know of in a synthesizer. I think maybe Kilohertz, their new one, can get into the fidelity range that this can. It's not about being better than on like capabilities. It's a matter of on sonic. The sonic capability of Serum can't be competed with. Even when it's distorted, it's the synthesis is just incredible. I mean, Steve Duda did a very smart thing and hired a physicist to help him work on the algorithm for the oscillators and the math for the filters. And they came up with something that has it just has a thing to it that's really unique. And so Avenger is great. It can't compete with Serum when it comes to the clarity as you go up the keyboard. Call up a patch in Avenger and play the top half of the keyboard and listen to as it starts to alias, and you won't hear that in Serum. It's insane. So that's one reason why I'm really happy that we're using Serum for the first library. We have some other stuff in the works. Now, Avenger is great, and I don't mean to put that down in any way, but it's not about this is the same as that. It's not. It can't compete. It's not the same. But it has its own strengths that Serum doesn't have. Serum is not doing you need to use Unify or something like this to get to where you have it call up and you play. And that fidelity is just... It's just beautiful stuff. Right? That kick drum is made in Serum. And I'm really excited. So it's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's about capabilities. If you download the demo of Serum, it sounds like it's jumping out of your speakers in a way that nothing else does. It has a fidelity to it that's really unique. It's why, yeah, the kick it's there. And there's a whole bunch of different kick patterns up here. They're just like Airwave's other libraries for Omnisphere. We've got 3 libraries that he's done for Omnisphere. So if you own Omnisphere, those are like standard things you should have because they're so good. But the kicks are here. He's got some then. These are all made with synthesis. And what's really fun with this, you go add layer. I've made a template where I called up Unify and saved it as a layer preset so that I could just quickly call up a new empty Unify really quickly. And if we go to the browse, we go to melodic techno. And then you can start to play along with this stuff. Let's make another layer, another empty Unify. Let's go to melodic techno. Let's go to something like some sort of cool BPM ARP. He has all these BPM ARPs, so we could say. Some high energy in this. Let's say another Unify, and you can just be building all day doing this. It's very, very fun. So let's go BPM over here, like say maybe some sort of cool like shakers. Let's add another Unify, and you just keep building all day long. It's really fun. So open up one more Unify, browse, go over here to, we need to be in just melodic techno library, chords. Now, this is doing a minor pattern, so we can look at this. Let's make it major. Or make it weird. Let's have it do that. And then sequence and quantize it, and it'll be all nicely synced. So that's pretty fun to be able to just take a library and build that. There's 220 patches to build from, so it's good time. A lot of good time here. So that will be coming out later this week, I am hoping. And I appreciate and thank all of you that support it by buying this library. That means a lot to Airwave. As you know, what's going on here? So there was a problem. I have a new version of the library. Both show up in the array. Okay. So let's see here. Open, cancel. So let me give you a new link. It's possible that you guys might have the one with only one download too. So I need to go over here. Welcome to live TV, my friends. In the Finder. So I'm gonna delete the old version that you guys might have downloaded. If you did, don't download that one. I'll have to see if I can go back and delete my comment with the C's here. So copy Dropbox link. And let's see, can I delete? Let's see, go remove. So I'm going to remove the previous link that I sent. And this is the link that works, that will get you 2 patches for the Unify Serum library. And again, it's a .guru file. So all you have to do is drag over the top of Unify and say yes, and it will automatically install the library. They're protected files, which means you can't overwrite them. When you get the full library and install it and put in the license number, it will be a protected library in Unify. It will overwrite these patches and put all 220 patches. Actually, there'll be more than 220 when it shows up. So it is a library that will take what you can do with Unify and Serum. It will definitely take Serum to a different place. This is just Serum. There's even such things in here as kits. If you go to drum kits, these are loading up. Check this out. I think 13 Serum patches windowed across the keyboard. Why add Unify layers instead of just Serum layers? As I mentioned, we're doing much more in Unify than just calling up a Serum patch. A lot of these patches that are doing the drums and so forth and everything are using an arpeggiator with the MIDI effects and all sorts of things, right? If you call it up just as a Serum patch, it's not going to sequence because Serum doesn't have a sequencer. It doesn't have an arpeggiator built into it. So this gives you this ARP. If I say, give me another empty Unify layer, it's loading up a complete Unify inside of Unify. So I can go to another BPM bass or whatever patch, or like go to that drum kit down here, BPM drum, tech groove, and call this up. And it's loaded up 2 MIDI effects and 3 Serum layers and all of these effects. So I'm doing more than just adding a layer and adding Serum. If I go over here and I say, say favorites go Serum, I could go to the, let's see, to like maybe a BPM bass or something. But it's not going to be set up. It's not optimized and ready to rock, right? I mean, now this is... I have to set up all sorts of stuff. So by having the ability to just quickly load up an empty Unify by just saying, here, layer replace with this Unify, I can now open up Unify. And by loading a patch in Unify, it's loading far more than just one plugin, right? So if you go to any of these guys that are the BPM guys, they're all set up for, even if it's a clap. This is a MIDI effect and Serum. Say, give me another empty Unify. Open this up. And let's go up here. He's got some things, these BPM drums that are like cool grooves and stuff like that. So we could say techno vibe. That's just Serum. So that's one where there are places and cases and stuff where you can. But going like this and having... This is loading up far more than just one Serum. So that's the advantage. That's something we can do you can't do with Serum. So hopefully that understands and makes sense there. Can't in the standalone version activate this day. Yeah, so Roland... You're talking about the Steinberg plugins. We have fixed that. Roland, are you on a Mac? Hopefully you're on a Mac. Yeah, as Shane said, We have a fix for e-licenser iLock, especially on the Mac, coming in the next update that will be coming next week when this comes out. Okay, so it fixes all sorts of things. We're committed to improving all sorts of stuff as we go along. Right? Here's a bunch of them. 3, 4. And you can look here on the knob controls. He's got 6 assignments. If you have a real-time controller, you can play with the effects, all sorts of things. So you have a complete mix. So fun stuff. Lots of fun, crazy, creative stuff for those of you that are into the melodic techno and all that kind of stuff. So that is a really fun library that we are excited to bring to you. And the other thing, make sure if you have Serum that you've downloaded the Serum FX. If you go to your account at X4 Records, you can log in, and along with Serum, there's the Serum FX, and that is also required for these to work. A lot of these are calling up Serum and the Serum Effect plugin, which is basically the plugin minus the synth engine, so you can use all the effects that are built into Serum's effects because they're really, really good effects. There's some really cool stuff in there. And so a lot of these, let's see, this one here has Serum effects here and here at the end. If you open this up, you can see we're using a compressor. And it's OTT, which means you have the ability to the reverb. Distortion. He should have hyper in here. Just put a little bit of this in there. Without it, with it. So some really, really cool effects in the Serum effects. You can change the order. All these effects are really great quality, really great stuff. So Airwave used those a lot for the patches. The artwork came out really cool. I should show you that. Check this out. Let me see, does that show up? Yeah, almost. So let's make it just a little bit smaller. And right there, boom. Melodic Techno for Unified Serum and Serum Effects. That will be coming out this week. So, and again, Airwave is a wonderful, sweet, love the guy to death, sweet spirit. And this whole, in Belgium, they are currently in a lockdown where people are pretty much not able to go out, hardly any, I believe. No clubs, no live settings, and so he needs to earn some money. So if you can support him by buying this library, it would be a win-win for everybody to get him some funds. We'll get him money as fast as we earn it so that he can make sure he can keep paying his bills and doing his thing. If you follow him on Facebook, make sure after this live stream or now, if you want something playing in the background, he's doing a 6-hour live event on the Airwave Facebook page. So find that. There's an event going on for the next 5.5 hours of him performing. And you can send him money through that for the performance as a way to help him earn some money if you can. That would be great. Oh, yes. So one of the cool features coming next week with this update, on top of all these fixes, we're not putting the MIDI effects in and the jitterbox. The MIDI file player and jitterbox will come within the month. I'll have this other library done. We'll get to that in a bit here. But one of the cool features that's added to Unify that you guys will all be able to take advantage of is CPU meters. Right here, you can click and turn on CPU meters. And they show you some really cool information. You'll notice every layer has a CPU meter. Let me make sure Logic is playing. So you can see CPU meters per layer for the core that they're committed to. And these are all your cores. And then this is the division of what is being used, whether it's MIDI effects, the green is the layers, the yellow is actual MIDI effects. As you can see, these guys are all super efficient in the way they're working in Unify. Like the pad right here is kind of busy. So you can see, even if you go to the factory patches and stuff like that, these guys here are so efficient, it's not even funny. But if we go to some of the BPM splits, some of the bigger splits, so we're quite efficient considering this is 6 different things and 5 different MIDI effects. Right? For the knobs. So yeah, again, super efficient, and the CPU meters will tell you, here's all the groove samplers, they're barely even registering. OBXD, but we work on such an efficiency level compared to other plugins that it's pretty shocking. You go to these guys and you'll definitely see that the power definitely is required. Much higher. Let's get to Hernan's favorite. Still pretty efficient. And the sound quality is just insane. So you can have a lot of fun with this. So yeah, let me see. What is Shane saying in our little make Unify narrower? Oh, can't see the meters on the left. Oh, sorry. Oh, let's see, narrower. There, now you can see. Here. And here, let's zoom this up. So it's per layer. Okay. Now, how am I gonna get this to shrink? Let's see. Shrink. Shrink some more. Look at my messy desktop. There. We're using the dub delay. Which pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, now the activation stuff. Be careful, Shane, about that, because I don't have control over activations through the Ilio and the other distributors. If you buy Unify from my website, we have control over your activations, stuff like that. I don't have control over that. You'll need to contact Ilio if that's the case. Yeah, only huge window updates require activation. Okay, good. Thank you, Roland. Nice to see people enjoying the feedback. It's fast and you can call Unify inside Unify. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this library is on its way. I'm going to keep polishing it. I actually want to make some more like derivatives using all these things together in cool ways. But the power is just insane with everything that's in here. And there's really cool sounds. Claps. All the hats. And these are not BPM drums, which means they're just hits. Right? Then there's the menus. There's all sorts of cool effects. Lots of parameters to play with it. All sorts of cool things for dance heads, you know, all sorts of cool pads. So that's in the works. We're gonna shift gears, okay? So this is coming next week, the update with some of the fixes for iLock, eLicenser, Unify behaving better when loading effects, things like that, don't crash. There's all sorts of other fixes under the hood. That will be coming next week. The way to know about all this, for those of you that are buying Unify at places other than the pluginguru.com website, is to subscribe to the newsletter. So you'd go to pluginguru.com right here. Let me show you how to do this really quickly. At our website, pluginguru.com, you scroll down to the bottom of the page and subscribe to the newsletter. And then it will send a confirmation that you need to confirm. And that way you'll be up to date. And I believe it's all working just fine. Okay, yeah. So it works quite well to get yourself subscribed. Dave Williams. Yeah, if you have questions or problems, please unify support at pluginguru.com. If you bought it from other websites, it's unify support at ilio, ILIO.com. They are the ones that will help you with, if you bought it from JRR or Time and Space or other websites that are out there, they do support for those, okay? So now, in about a month, hopefully maybe a little less, there's another library coming, and I am really excited. This is the first library that I've made, that I'm making, and it's, as I've shown you last week, I've recorded tongue drum, which is a really cool and I have some examples to show you, and then we're going to add to this. Oh. There's more of this vibe. Okay. More mellow, more chill, hip hop, urban, all that kind of stuff will be in here. This is using our new MIDI effects that are coming. And so these will not be in the update next week, but these will be coming within the month. So we have MIDI Box, which is our MIDI file player, and Jitterbox, which is randomizing of time. And I have this on, let's say, let's get the drum groove going. So the drum groove. That's perfect timing. Here it is in good timing, and then I can humanize it. This is a little bit out or really out. So you'll have the ability to control timing in really cool ways. Oh, you can't see these. I know. Okay, sorry, I forgot. So, let's see, let's scroll this down. I keep forgetting the display. So here's Jitterbox. Thank you, Shane. So as you can see, I have control. This is playing a MIDI file. Let's open up there's another one here for, this is MIDI channel 2. This is the drum groove. Let's have this go right here. I'll bring this down a little bit more. And then let's add to this a jitterbox, just to show you what these effects are that are coming. So this is called Creative Jitterbox. So the top one is the bell, and the bottom is the drums. So if you have these both out here like this, you now have drum patterns that are just human. And then this is actually being played in a cool way. And we're going to be looking at more of these. This is actually calling up something that was recycled. So if I was to call up this sound and take it off from its MIDI effects and solo it, Let me show you the keyboard so you can see what I'm doing. On the keyboard, I have made performances of my tongue drum playing different things. Like this was one where I'm just playing a single pitch. And I have other ones where I'm doing a little bit more involved things because it's fun to do. Check this out. Here's Blessed Rains. And actually, I need to set this up so it's not on latch. And follow host. So this one where there's a tongue drum playing a melody. Now up high on the high C, if I go to the keyboard, I have Rain from Costa Rica. Right? But, so here's the thing. It's missing some additional percussion. I was like, you know what? I need to do some percussion sessions. So last night, I played a whole bunch of percussion. I have a new pair of microphones that I'm really digging. Let's see if I go like this. Let's see if I this. Will this come out? No. So if I bring this over here, it's a pair of Rode NT55s. They're really nice. It's in a stereo pattern. See if you can see this. If I go like this. Yeah, see, so they're, I need to lower this a little bit more. So lower this and lower this. There. So it's a pair of stereo microphones. On Amazon, I got a really cool microphone stand that lets me create different patterns. I can do a straight on stereo, or I can do an XY to cancel phase. And so that's what I did, is I set it up somewhat like this. And then I have all sorts of percussion instruments. Let's get this back so it's out of the way. Played my shakers, tambourines. This is a little tambo stick, right? So I played all of those, and I'll show you the session that I did, because we need to make some percussion to go along with these grooves for the cool, chill, ambient. And then, of course, once you speed up a shaker groove, it's great for all sorts of things, not just for chill or ambient or something like that. So I recorded to that groove. I had, let's see, about 70 beats per minute. I am playing my shakers. As you can see, I need to extend these guys. And the timing, believe it or not, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's not a take like you're doing for an album. These are going to be recycled. And so this tutorial, I need to probably shrink this because you're probably not seeing all of it. Sorry, I'm just not used to the whole screen. I should probably make the whole screen or more of the screen. Let's do that, because recycle is going to require all sorts of additional stuff. So watch this full screen so we can get more information on here. So there's the top of the monitor. Okay. So this way we don't have it cutting out. I'll just go like that. So if I bring this up to the top, you can still see it. So I played all sorts of things. So shaker 1, shaker 2, I played a the tambourine. The tambourines, I have a bigger tambourine stick, and then the baby tambourines here. Right? Then I did more shakers, and even a triangle. So I want to make percussion grooves because the way of how Unify works, we can do this really cool stuff. So for example, let's go to this Unify here, and I can initialize, and I'll just show you the concept of what these are. So I have, if I go to Guru Sampler, inside of this library, we have, let's see, I need some help with the name. So this is a chill library, hip hop library using tongue drums, percussion. I haven't gotten the name quite right yet, right? So if you have cool ideas for names, pop them up in the chat, because it's a really cool library. I want to have a cool name. So the tongue drum samples are like I have both open and I have muted, which is really pretty. One of the new features you'll be getting in this update to Unify next week is right here. If a sample map has more than one sample across the keyboard, you can now choose one of these and it will immediately take that sample and map it across the keyboard, the whole sample. So if you're on, say, the standard library on the pianos, some of these piano sounds are actually really cool to do this. Go to, like, say maybe to the Steinway hard samples. There are these many samples in this piano, and you can choose now. This is why pianos need lots of samples, because one sample like this is probably the original. A1 was the original, then E2. So when you play E3, E4 sounds really bad. But you can get some cool. It's a cool vibe to have that versus it's a whole different vibe, right? So this is something that will be coming in the update. I don't think we're gonna stop that from showing up. But let's get back to the black and blue library. That just name isn't gonna be the final name, so disregard that. But anyway, not only is there the tongue drum where I played it, right? Like, I mean, I put them away because they were ringing when I was recording the percussion, but it's that vibe. But I also performed. I actually played them and recorded it as audio. So they're now separated by using recycle, which is what we're going to play with in a minute, so that each sample on the key is a piece of a performance. If you're familiar with Stylus RMX, this is how pretty much everything in Stylus RMX is created. They use recycle and other tools to separate all of the samples to be individual samples that recreate the loop. The original recording is pulled into separate pieces. So by doing this, adding a MIDI effect, and going over here and saying add MIDI box. Again, this is not coming next week. MIDI box will be coming when this library comes out. And in this library, I have a MIDI file folder because we can now load MIDI files. And this was, if I push this over here for a second, put this up. Oh, it's not going to let me see because it's soaking. I believe that's number 1. So if we go 1, play. I have to connect it. So go down here, connect it. So it's now playing this groove, and I can speed it up. Whatever tempo I set it at, it will follow and play in tempo. So the whole reason to do this, the underlying pain to do this, is so that it can now be locked to tempo. Whatever your tempo you're going to use at, these loops work. So I have some crazy ideas we might do for this library to make it really have some cool stuff to it. But right now what we need is percussion. And so I can show you some other examples. So say we go to the Guru sampler to phrase number, say 13. If I go up here and I say load phrase 13, now I have this really cool little phrase. And again, it's tempo-like. And so now I can program it with effects and all sorts of things. If I want, I could say add another layer, have another Guru sampler, go to the library to the hip hop drum kit that's going to be coming. This is a hip hop kit that I've made. And let's make another MIDI effect. Empty, oh wait. New MIDI effect, empty. MIDI box. Choose from that same MIDI, but maybe not here. We want to go to the drum grooves. So here's the drum grooves and connect it. 2, 2. Oh, because I auditioned this, let's stop the auditioning and just play it from here. Oh. And then I have the audio playing. So if I set this at 70, it should play in time. So these drum grooves are working, but like you hear how that triangle sounds nice in there. I want triangles and shakers and stuff to play along with this. So what we need to do is pull out some of these performances and recycle them. Are you ready? Could be chilling with the tongue. I like that. Chillify. So let's do this. So let's first find, and we'll have this groove playing because I had a groove playing when I recorded these, so we can see when there's something go, ooh, that's cool. All right, Michael, good to see you, man. Rare Zebra. Okay, I like that part right in there. So if we solo this and so there's like 3 majors in here that are good. So I'm gonna hit bounce. I'm gonna solo and bounce. All right, we have a triangle. Let's see if we can find something else to extract at the same time to make this really fun. So let's go over here and so I like that. So let's say solo, and this is from Shaker 3, because I went through and I partitioned. Oh, you know what we should do? Yeah, let's do this. We'll use the lower one, because what I did is I ran a pass through of this with noise reduction to get it a little bit cleaner. It's pretty clean, but I can do this. So let's go unmute this like this. Okay, and then let's go to the baby tambo, see if there's something in here. Somewhere in here I have got. I like writing. Just that one major is really good. So let's say like this. We get a little bit. Yeah, and we can get something from that. So solo. So I've made performance by playing these parts in, and I'm just going in and cherry picking a few pieces that I think might be fun to play with. Let's go tambourine. Yeah, that's nice right in there. So let's say bounce that. Wait, cancel. So we want to make sure that we're solo. All right, we have some work to do. So we go over here to recycle and we say open. Now open over here so you guys can see. So we have these samples. This is the performance that had the noise reduction done to it. So I can say, let's see, I had shaker. I thought I had some shakers too, right? Shaker 3. So shaker 3, open. Yes. So actually, you know what? Let's prepare this audio just a little bit. Let's make it just a little bit better. So let's open these guys inside of DSP Quattro. I'm just going to set them to a normalized point so that the level is better. A little bit more to work with before I recycle them. So Command Option G. Let's say we bring it up to like -3 dB. Actually, heck, that stuff sounds really good, just fully normalized. Let's just normalize it. Yeah, that's fine. And save. So now let's make DSP Quattro go away. Let's go back to recycle and say open. Let's say shaker 3 first. Shakers are hard because the timing is, you're actually a little bit late in your playing, like actual downbeat. Let's see if we bring up the sensitivity. As I bring up sensitivity, it brings up this transient, so you can set these to the starting points. And we'll say the right goes to right there. So go back to the beginning. Okay, 3, 4. Oh, what are we doing? 1. No, go to the beginning. It's not going to the beginning. So we went right there. Hello. Okay, so let's zoom in on this part. And let's say this is going to be previewed at 1 major. So 69.76. So it's pretty close. Okay. So now you can bring up the sensitivity. What I do typically is bring up sensitivity and then use the lock to lock where you want it to be timing wise. Again, shakers are so tricky because you're going to have to adjust them after the fact to get them to be playing right. Not that one, this one. See if we zoom in a little bit more. We want to get it right about there, but we need to get to the pencil and move this. We might move each one of these once we get the locks down. So what I do is the sensitivity is up so that I can lock the pretty close to where I want the beginning of the shaker to be. But again, I'm going to have to shift this in Logic as a MIDI file so that it plays timing-wise correctly. It's one of those where you actually have to get kind of tricky. So let's see. You want it to play on the beat because you can always have it play after the beat, right? So lock, make sure I have a lock on each one of these, because once I bring down sensitivity, the things that are, those markers that are not locked are going to go away. So I've gone through and locked down all of them, it looks like. So as I bring this down, let's see if I did. Yeah. Oh, I missed one right here. So get my pencil and I can just write one in it. So you see how that works. And this way, when I play each sample, that's actually kind of got one right in the middle here. You want to hear each one just being, hear a little. There. So the reason that was up was because this was here. So you have to adjust the timing of each event. I'm taking this loop and dividing it into a bunch of pieces. Okay, so let's say this is fine. It might need to be perfected a little bit. I'm going to bring up the stretch so that it will stretch it a little bit more, which means when it gets, one of the cool things with Recycle is when it gets to the end of the sample, it adds extra stuff. See how it stops? And then if I bring this up, what happens is that makes it so you can slow down and it has a decay to it. So it's not just a gap of silence. So let's go export. My desktop's a mess. Let's say new folder, live, shaker. Let's see, live. And shaker 3. And when you say save, it will say with a MIDI file, and I want it to be 24-bit audio export. So we now have created a shaker that at this point in the future, we'll be able to load this directly into a Unify, but we can't do that yet. So I can go over here and load up an EXS24, which is Logic Pro's sampler. And I can go over here to edit, and I can take this shaker and take all these samples, but not the MIDI file, and drag them over, and it will say continuous from C2. Yes, please. So all those samples, right, are on the keys now. And if I go over to this MIDI file and I drag this into here, get to the beginning, to measure 1. I have a shaker. Let's see, you're supposed to... There. So it's playing these samples. So now we can compare timing to see how this works, right? It's not bad. Quantize. Bring down the strength. That's pretty good. So you can, let's see, it's going to ask me to save this. So say yes, let's save to, oh, let's make this smaller. Let's say new folder, Unify Percussion loops. And let's call it Shaker 3. So I now have made an EXX24 instrument. I have a MIDI file that plays those samples that came from Recycle. Here it is in Recycle, and now here it is. Let's do something else. Let's add something else to this. Let's add the triangle to this. So let's say close Shaker 3. Don't save. I can redo that in a handful of minutes. So let's say go to Recycle, open, and let's say tambourine. And here's that performance I did. Bring up the sensitivity. This will be a lot easier. So I want this, move the left header to be right here. And then right here is the right header. Hello. Okay. So just bring up my sensitivity till I just see cool. Select them all. Let's lock it. Let's zoom in by holding down Command and the space bar so I can look at this and make sure as I go through this I can audition with the little player here. And just make sure if you see doubles, like see there's 2 here. So you're going to want to go up here and get rid of duplicates so that you don't have duplicates. And this is one of these cases where I might add some silence in the more advanced Recycle things you can do. I'll show you in a minute. So let's turn on preview, and it's one measure. Like that has a little click, right? So if you put something right here, sounds much better. This one too. So this is called the silence selected technique, where oh, we need one right here. Some of these have this little additional like near little click, and those clicks are a nightmare to get rid of later. So I have learned that it's really cool to just go through when you see these. There. And you can say, hold this down, and by selecting all of these that are locks, right? Like that one and that one, I'm holding down Shift when I select these so that I can select multiples. Recycle has a cool ability where it can say silence selected so that this little gap isn't included. Makes everything sound so much better to use silence selected for the end of certain samples of certain types of cymbals and stuff that are going to cause a problem. Once you've done about 60,000 loops, you'll start to learn about these types of things. So in this one loop, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, let's save this as a tambo so I can, because once you have silence selected, I want to keep track of those. And then let's export this, and we'll export to the same live percussion Tambo 1. We'll just call it Groove 1. And we'll say export. It always says there is, so you got to always make it 24-bit audio. So done. So by now going over here and double clicking, that will give us the ability to have another empty instrument. Say we want another ESX24, and you do the same steps, but we're going to load different samples. So we say edit, live percussion, and now here's Tambo Groove 1. So we take these 16, drag them over here, say yes. It always starts at C2. By the way, way back in the day, it was yours truly that requested to the Apple, actually it was before Apple, this is when it was eMagic, to the guys to do the auto mapping to do this. This was my request because I was using Recycle all the time. And it used to be you had to place them one at a time and it couldn't automatically build it chromatically. So I asked them to do that and they did. So that was pretty cool. So now we are able to play. Let's quantize it. Maybe bring down the strength a little bit. Actually, you know what? In this case, I might actually quantize it 100% because Jitterbox can get you back to that 80% where it's just a little bit randomly sloppy. Right? Okay. So I could keep going and do this, and I will be doing this to probably 100 files before the library is done. That's the process of using Recycle to take. Let's have fun. Let's do a drum loop because I'm gonna put some drum loops into this as well. So let's go to Recycle. Let me close this, and I'm gonna do surfing for a second. I gotta find. Let's go like this, and let's find something from sample mass. Drum loops. Let's see here. I want to find something from. Not that. Find a drum loop here. Let's say let's see here. Oh my, where did it go? I thought I just made a copy of something and hold on one second. Just hang on. That won't work. Okay. Where is? I'm trying to find. Okay, let's do this one. This will be fun. This is one of Airwave's. I will talk to him and get his blessing to include, or not. This might be just a fun thing to show you as an example, but here's a drum loop. So it gets far more complicated looking, but it's the same principle. So the way it works best is to bring up the sensitivity, and then I can see where one major, and I might want to actually, this is one where you might not want to start at the very beginning. I actually want to start it right here. So it's kind of in it, you know? That way the effects and stuff that are growing that might just be starting here, they're growing it. And then right here, I can right click and say, make this the right locator. So you can go 1, 2, 3. So it's one measure. So you hit preview and you say one measure. And now you can hold down Command to do the magnifying. You can also magnify down here with these little magnifiers. I just want to see the whole measure. There we go. And then bring up my sensitivity so that everybody's there. Select them all. Lock them. Rock and lock them. This is pretty straightforward, thank goodness. So all I have to do is say export. And because I have a left and right in the middle of the loop, it doesn't export the whole loop. It will export where we have this 70 Secret RX2. So anytime you're buying sample libraries and it says it comes with an RX2, that means it has gone through this process of somebody sitting, looking at the transients, picking out all the transients. Now when I go to Logic and I can say, give me one more instrument, and I can say EXS24 and edit so that it's new, double click. Go down here and find, that's up here at the top because it had a tempo in it. How nice it was at 70 beats per minute too. And say chromatic, boom. And then take the MIDI file and drag that over here. And now I've added a drum loop to my tambourine and my shaker. So at this point, we get the samples into Unify, and we can use the MIDI player to do all sorts of really cool things. Let me show you a couple of the things that I've been working on with that MIDI player because it's so cool. Let's go to here and close that. Have this over here. Where's one? I need to go up to here and say, give me a 1. So those are muted, that's muted. I think this is this not the Unify that's playing? No, where are we at? Yeah, it is. Right? So if I go over here to this library, still don't know what the name is going to be. Check out a couple of these other ones. There's a couple that are really fun. Deep Blue Eyes is... This is one where there's a MIDI file playing... Oh, I would transpose this here, right? If you change keys... Just great, that vibe is so cool. Virus Watch. This is playing a actual techno type of groove I made. Be faster. You hear those toms? Oh, I need to make this more than... There we go. So we'll be having all sorts of cool things happening. So I got lots of work to do. Got drum loops and percussion things to add to this library to give it even more sparkle and more places it can go. And I gotta think of a dang name for it. I don't have a name for it yet. Corona Stalker. Oh my, yes, we are in those times. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the beat's pretty cool. This has, oh, where do we go from? Let's see if we hit play here. So these cinematic toms. Cool vibe. So you're all, you know, film mask out. Let's get up our toggle CPU meters. So there will be all sorts of stuff like this and bigger and more insane coming when this library comes out. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Are there any questions? I'm sure Shane's been answering questions like crazy. With Corona, we can all stay locked up in our studios enjoying Unify. Yeah, that's crazy times we're in, isn't it? Pretty crazy. All right, well, thank you so much for hanging, and I hope it was enjoyable to see someone painfully putting index markers into recycle. But it is a wonderful tool. If you need to take, like, let's see, open and have this triangle. I want to... It's so fun to I mean, that these Rode microphones are so nice. It's a great, triangles are hard to record, those frequencies. But to be able to bring up sensitives and create this to where it's now able to be played. What's cool is you can actually do this inside here. So if you say preview, this is, well, actually cancel. So right here would be 2 measures. So you say set that to the right. Preview 2 measures. What's cool, even here you can now go. So even though it was recorded at 70 beats per minute, you can take it to 160. That's the whole, oh wait, we need to set this to be the left locator is here. Oh, I think I'm off. Yeah, I'm off. So no, it's this one. Set low. Yeah, and that's just a soft sample. So anyway, that's how it works. Spit it out, and now you have that to work with inside a Unify or other things, depending on what your sampler is. Is that just in Unify or Omnisphere itself? Oh, you guys are talking about something else. I have an Omnisphere issue. I have too many libraries. Clean up my Steam folder and rescan sources, but interface is still lags, freezes between parts 1 through 8. Ah, that sounds like something you might need. The number of libraries shouldn't have to do with that. It's what the patches are that are loaded into Omnisphere. So you need to look at what you have on the different layers. The libraries we sell, someone's asking for the price of the libraries. These libraries will be $39 when they come out. And that's the price, and that's the price. And I'm not putting anything on sale ever again. I'm done. Don't want to. I worked my butt off for these, and I'm not going to do the car salesman stuff anymore. If these other guys on the internet want to give it away, they can. But it's $39 for each of the libraries that we release. So that's how it works. But yeah, great session. Thanks. Good. Hey, shouting. Oh yeah, it's raining there. It's snowing here. It's crazy. Reset sound sources. Yeah, so there's a couple of things you might be able to do to help out. Let's just do a little Omnisphere tech talk for a second. If you go over to, let's see, I have in my favorites, I have Omnisphere, so I can quickly load it. From here, there's a rebuild right here for the patch browser. But what these guys are talking about is if you hit sample, if you hit the little folder, you're now into the sample directory for sound sources. It says sound sources up here. And you can hit refresh right here. And that will rescan all of your samples and refresh the database. That doesn't typically do anything to help performance, though. I've not seen that be something that makes things show up that are missing, but it doesn't fix performance issues. And it's going to take a long time for me because I have so many sound sources in here. So we'll just let that spin in the corner. But I really think your problem, if you have lag and problems between 1 through 8, it's because of what's on 1 through 8. So if you have granular patches and if you have other patches that are using other heavy things, if you're playing lots of notes, those things, Omnisphere is not an efficient synthesizer. It is a very heavy CPU heavy synthesizer. So that is something just to be aware of, and that's the reality of what Omnisphere is. It's always playing 4 layers all the time. You can't say, I want just, it used to be before this latest update, it was just 2 layers. And now it's 4 layers, and you can't set it back to 2 layers. So that makes each patch twice as CPU hungry as it used to be. And that's just the reality of how Omnisphere works. That was their decision. All right, well, we'll leave it there. So that's my suggestions on Omnisphere. Look at what you're actually loading up, okay? What's the best way to get Unify to find the Unify sample library? It's really simple. You hit the settings button, and right here is where you have your data folder. If you move your Unify, if you're going to move stuff in Unify, make sure that you realize there's 2 Unify folders. There's one that's in the applications. Here, let me show you applications down here to Plugin Guru. There's the Plugin Guru folder here in the applications. You do not move that. The Plugin Guru folder that says Unify, that says Helper Apps and VST, you have to leave it in the applications folder. And some of you guys move that somewhere else thinking you're being clever, and then Unify can't work. It doesn't work. So you got to leave the Plugin Guru Unify with its helper. This is where the VST plugins are and the helper app. It's very small. It's only like 44 megabytes. So it's not like something that you have to worry about. The one you can move is this one here, which is inside by default in the shared folder. We have a Plugin Guru folder. Make sure you move the whole thing from here. You don't move the Unify folder. You move the Plugin Guru folder. And you can move that anywhere you want. And then you just make sure that you've got it back to where at the end it says whatever your new hard drive folder hierarchy, but it says Plugin Guru and Unify. If it doesn't say Plugin Guru and Unify, then you didn't go in deep enough. When you go change, you want to make sure that you get into where it says Unify and you see the libraries and the presets. And that way, when you close it, now Unify can see what it needs. You can hit patch rebuild, and this will show up and show you all of your patches. If you do anything other than that, Unify is going to break. It needs certain things in certain locations. And if you move it, make sure you just move everything in the Plugin Guru folder That's the data. And the data is the folder where this library folder is, mine's actually now at this point 3.7 gigabytes. So that's the one you can move that has the libraries and stuff in it, right? But don't move the other one, please. We're doing tech support all the time. Andrew, you are welcome. Hopefully that helps. If not, Andrew, it's unifysupport@pluginguru.com. That's the email to send to, okay? All right, shout outs. We've gone over a clock. Shout out from Denmark. Yes. Shout out from Snowy PDX. Is it still snowing? I gotta see. Hang on 1 second. Nope. Blue sky and it's not snowing. Yay. So, all right. Shout out from Norway, Holland. Tom. Well, it's one of those that's super cheap if you want to get the Genesis Pro, but I've been reading and Shane's been checking out all the feedback, and it seems like it's not going over too popularly. I mean, a lot of people are buying it, but it's one of those things where I'm not going to say anything. If you want to get it, go for it. I wanted to point out that Airwave is, I believe, is it going on now? Let's see here. Yeah, he's live. So if you go to the Airwave, the Airwave page, he's got a live doing his thing. So go over there and enjoy some techno. Sounds really good. I don't know if you can hear that right now. I don't know if my audio is routed to... Nope. So anyway, he's doing his thing. So check that out if you want. Thank you all for your support as usual. If you have questions, send them to me to let me know for future live streams. Germany, good to see you, Andre, and Finland and Springfield, Illinois. Great, Dwight. All right, be well. See you next week. Okay. Bye, everybody. And thank you, as always, for your continued support. We're having a good time here. So see you later.